medical staff at a psychiatric clinic. Practice techniques for catching violent lunatics, 1903. Robin Williams offers a roll of toilet paper to the thinker, 1990s. German prisoners of war being shown footage from a concentration camp, Germany, 1945. A long line at Morrisania Hospital for smallpox vaccinations, New York, 1947. Egyptians watching the airship Graf Zeppelin flying over the pyramids of Giza, 1931. The last day of gold distribution by the government, China, 1949. Japan, 13th to 18th century. It was easy to tell if a woman was married or not in Japan for 5 centuries. The family status was revealed by her smile. Right after marriage, Japanese women began painting their teeth black. Madrid, Spain, 1960s. British soldiers blinded after a gas attack, waiting in line for the doctor. Ormer Locklear is considered the founder of wing walking. In 1920, he died in a plane crash while filming his movie. The first Harley-Davidson motorcycle, made in 1903, had a carburetor made from a tomato can. The final moments of a kamikaze dive on the aircraft carrier Lexington, 1944. A man is walking to deliver a package, unaware of the magnitude of the tragedy. New York, September 11th, 2001. Meet Felicette, the only cat in history to survive a trip to space. Paris, 1963. Heichiko at Shibuya Station, Tokyo, 1933. While on the North African front of World War II, German tankers developed a tradition of driving over piles of camel dung for luck. Seeing this, the British made anti-tank mines disguised as these piles. After several mines exploded, the Germans started avoiding untouched piles of dung. The British then made mines that looked like piles of dung, with tracks of tanks having already driven over them. The world map used by Christopher Columbus in 1492. Marie Azélie Hadel, the last Hadel to own Whitney Plantation, and one of her enslaved house girls. Girls participate in a Miss Beautiful Eyes contest in Florida, 1930. To make the competition fair, contestants had to hide their entire face except for their eyes. Suffering from hunger, a woman lies on the pavement in the Warsaw Ghetto. The picture was taken by a German soldier in 1941. Black man in a whites-only cafe, Virginia, 1960. U.S. National Guardsmen with a convoy of trucks carrying captured Iraqis, Kuwait, 1991. An inscription on the wall, "Mom, Dad, and I come here every day and wait for you." Signed below, your son, Slava. During World War II, USSR, 1943. A communication device between a driver and passenger, 1970s. Strike of Working Children, USA, 1902. The real Peaky Blinders and the actors who played them. Goalkeeper Sam Bertram stands alone, unaware that the game was stopped 15 minutes ago due to fog, 1937. A Starving Boy and a Missionary, Uganda, 1980. Kiyoshi Ogawa, a kamikaze pilot who attacked the American aircraft carrier Bunker Hill. Operation Overlord, June 6, 1944. The Normandy landings marked the beginning of the liberation of Nazi-occupied Western Europe. The fattest man in the world. This is what a freak show poster claimed in 1890. Interestingly, in our time, this is a quite common physique. The last photos of Adolf Hitler, where he is examining the ruins of Berlin hours before his death, 1945. The Tour de France bike race, 1930. French racer Jules Mervel refuels with a glass of red wine. A convenient mobile street confessional in Częstochowa, Poland, 1964. If you were caught by the police for jaywalking, you had to stand in the shame box for 30 minutes. South Korea, 1970s. Gérard Homel, one of the most famous mountaineers who had repeatedly climbed Everest and other great peaks, died after falling from a 2-meter ladder while changing a light bulb at home. A death toll counter from car accidents in Brooklyn, 1927. A severe natural disaster in Brazil in 2009, killing over 600 people. A dog named Leo stayed at his owner's grave for days. Until the 1960s, Australian Aboriginals were considered animals. Australia, 1960s. Martin Luther King is attacked by States' Rights Party member Jimmy Robinson as king, attempts to check into a hotel, USA, 1965. In the basement of the Supreme Court of Argentina, over 80 boxes full of Nazi materials were found. Record photos of child prisoners in the German concentration camp Auschwitz, 1942. The exorcism ritual over German girl Anneliese Michel, whose story was the basis for the movie The Exorcism of Emily Rose, Germany, 1976. A Canadian soldier says goodbye to his daughter before heading to war, World War I, 1914. 80-year-old Tom, called the last cannibal of Fiji, in 1905, photographed after cannibalism had officially ended on the islands. Presumably the last photograph of Adolf Hitler, taken 2 days before his death. Hitler inspects the ruins of the Reich Chancellery, April 28, 1945. Ainu girls started lip tattoos around age 7, enduring years of cut-and-soot ink with no anesthesia. It was painful, repetitive. Expected before marriage, Japan banned it by 1871, nearly erasing the rite. In 1945, the USS Indianapolis was carrying an atomic bomb to Japan, but was torpedoed and sank. The sailors who ended up in the water were attacked by sharks. About 150 people died from their teeth. A second before the crash, 1962. Coal delivery to the 5th floor, France, 1917. Anti-apartheid protesters in Cape Town, 1989. Police spray the protesters with colored water from a water cannon so they can be easily identified and arrested. Korean War veterans display experimental prostheses, South Korea, 1955. A former concentration camp prisoner selects glasses from a pile taken from inmates, 1945, Poland, Nazi concentration camp Auschwitz. Police protect a group of black swimmers and desegregation supporters from an angry mob, Florida, 1964. Smallpox, the only human disease that was successfully eradicated. Smallpox cannot be treated, and the smallpox vaccine was the first successful vaccine ever invented. A chastity nightgown for procreation, France, 17th century. The inscription translates as, "with God's help." Portrait of Louis XIII, created by the French king when he was 6 years old. Training Royal African shooters to drive, 1943. A stone on the head trains the students to keep their heads up and keep their eyes on the road. Hussein Obama, the father of U.S. President Barack Obama, also served here. United Kingdom, 1943. A proud member of the Women's Corps shows off her new tattoo, a symbol of rebellion and style. According to the women of the Badi tribe in Ethiopia, the most beautiful man is the one with the biggest belly, Ethiopia, 2013. Krista McAuliffe's parents watching the Challenger explode in 1986. A 3,200-year-old attendance sheet from Egypt. Reasons for worker absence. Embalmed brother, drank beer, bitten by a scorpion. German prisoners of war, 1945. Chinese celebrating the successful test of the first atomic bomb, Lop Nur Nuclear Test Site, 1964. Production of night pots made from German helmets, Denmark, 1945. Dolphin hunters in the Black Sea, USSR, 1947. Dolphin meat was sold on post-war store shelves. The USSR ceased dolphin hunting in 1966. Japanese soldiers mock Chinese prisoners during the Nanjing Massacre, 1938. Suffragette force-fed during hunger strike, Holloway Prison, UK, 1911. A shocking photo from the women's voting rights movement. The residents of Borena near the Christian school await the appearance of the Virgin Mary, whom a few kids supposedly saw there the day before, Belgium, 1933. Sailors of the battleship. George V received their daily rum ration, 1910s. Emperor Nicholas II inspecting trophies after a hunt, Belarus, 1913. The trophies were beautifully arranged for him. Hacker Kevin Mitnick hacked the Pentagon network and Colorado Air Defense at the age of 16. After 5 years in prison, he erased his sentence data from the state registry and emptied the bank account of the judge who sentenced him. 1971, John Kerry protests against the war. 2013, John Kerry, U.S. Secretary of State, asks for support to strike Syria. A man hugs his dog, who had inhaled carbon monoxide. The photo was taken immediately after a firefighter carried the dog out of the burning house. The Endurance ship permanently trapped in Antarctic ice, 1915. Residents of Hiroshima pray towards the epicenter of the explosion on the first anniversary of the atomic bombing of Hiroshima, 1946. The 1960s became the era of the miniskirt. However, women had to fight for the right to wear them. East German border guards observed the dispersal of protesters using tear gas on the other side of the Berlin Wall, 1988. The first strip club in London, 1958. Over time, donuts changed. Girls saying yes to boys saying no. Anti-draft poster, USA, 1960s. In London in 1911, the first escalator was installed in the subway, but many passengers were afraid to use it. To dispel their fears, one of the subway workers, William Harris, regularly rode the escalator up and down, demonstrating its safety and harmlessness. Great Depression. Fred Bell, once a millionaire, now selling apples after the 1929 stock market crash, died in 1934 in a poorhouse. Iron lungs and polio hospital wards, 1950s. The last known photo of Charlie Chaplin. General Patton's dog mourning his owner's death, 1945. Greta Bösel, a trained nurse, was a guard at Ravensbrück, and as Arbeitseinsatzführerin helped select women for the gas chamber. Children in bomb shield hats, headphones and protection from biting their tongues. Sydney, 1942. German soldiers prepare a chlorine gas attack. Poland, 1915. An emotional girl holds a bundle of grass where Ringo Starr once walked at Los Angeles Airport, USA, 1964. American Red Cross collects donations using a vacuum cleaner, New York, World War I. A Bosnian soldier near a destroyed house where 69 people, including his family, perished. Yugoslavian War, 1995. One of the last photos of Michael Rockefeller, who was seen entertaining a cannibalistic New Guinea tribe, disappeared without a trace during an expedition to New Guinea in 1961, and his body was never found. Violet Jessup, Queen of Sinking Ships. She survived the Titanic, the Olympic, and the Britannic, all within 5 years. On Christmas 1914, during World War I, German and British soldiers on the front line held an unscheduled truce. They sang Christmas carols, exchanged gifts sent from home, and played football. In the following years of the war, such truces could not be arranged again. A man convicted of social parasitism, tунeyadstvo, stands in court. In the USSR, unemployment was considered a crime. This man, who hadn't worked for a year, was sentenced to 1.5 years of corrective labor, 1987. Republicans fight Democrats in a snowball fight at the Capitol, USA, 1921. A Viet Cong soldier ruins a young man's Western-style haircut and cuts his shirt. Saigon, Vietnam, 1975. Submarine crew in diving suits, 1908. The first woman to attempt to vote. When trying to enter a polling station, she was pushed out and thrown to the ground. United Kingdom, 1872. Thank you for watching this video until the end. I hope these photos impressed you. Some may have made you angry, brought a smile, made you happy, or perhaps even caused some negativity. Feel free to leave your comments and stay tuned for the next part. Don't forget to subscribe and like the video. Bye.